Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you already know that this is my mini-series in which I am diving into a very particular and unique deck called the Tarot of the Holy Light by Christine Payne-Towler. Now, this deck is not a Golden Dawn, Smith Waite or Harris Crowley RWS Thoth-based deck. It's not even Tarot de Marseille, although it's closer to Tarot de Marseille, because it is a deck that is a compilation of esoterica and ideas and wisdom and knowledge from what is called the Continental Tarot tradition. So, what do I do? If you are new here, let me give you a brief rundown. Every day, I draw one card from the Tarot of the Holy Light. Yes, that's right. And then I sit with it, and I acknowledge the meanings, the understanding, the significances that I have encountered through my tarot history with RWS and other Golden Dawn-based systems. So I acknowledge those, and I also acknowledge that this deck is different from those. So this Tarot of the Holy Light card may and probably will have a very different meaning, or at least a partially different meaning from the cards that I'm used to. So to help me with that, I rely on one of my most comfortable decks, the Light Seers Tarot, and I pull 3 cards from that to help me unpack the card I got from the Tarot of the Holy Light. The first card is the significance of that daily draw card. The second is the obstacle. The third card is the advice. Now, a very standard 3-card spread. Yeah, significance, obstacle, advice. So that's what I do. That's what I did today. And let me show you the card I got. Now, let me tell you, when I got this card, I started cursing. I pulled this card and I said, "Oh, you son of a..." And then the second thought at the back of my head was, no, this deck must be broken. Then I thought, you little creep. Why? Now, if you've been with me for a while, you probably recognize this card, because this is the second time that this card has come up upright. And this video is probably going to be a little bit short because we've seen this card in this position before. Don't have a whole lot new to say about it as far as meanings go. So yes, I got death reversed again. I've had death upright. I think, yes, I've had death upright. And now I had death reversed. And between those 2 reversals, I had the world reversed, if you recall. So what a series, right? And you can probably guess why I saw this card in reverse again. I said, all these curse words going on in the back of my head. Not really anger, but that kind of, oh my God, really? Really? And it's sense, and on the other hand, if you've also been following this series, you probably know, well, what are you talking about, Derek? That's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. You should have expected it even. This is confirmation of what you've been reading all along, right? So I pulled this card. And like I said, I then pulled 3 cards from the Light Seers Tarot. Let me show you those cards right now. So these cards are also very, not expected, but they match very well. Yeah? Especially since I've already studied the death card and know the meaning, have a sense of the meaning from the Tarot of the Holy Light. These 3 cards matched very well. The first card was the Hanged Man, right? I pull that as, or I see that as one of my significator cards. That's one of my personal identification cards. It's not my birth card. It's not my my numerologically calculated significator. It's none of that. It's not my zodiac. It's none of that. But it's a card that I am drawn to the most. And that's why I subtitled my channel The Hanged Man in the Moon, right? So the first card was the Hanged Man. The second was the Two of Cups in the obstacle position, which has shown, this is the third time that showed up in the obstacle position. And then the second card, the third card, the advice was Page of Swords. Makes good sense to me. So let me briefly remind you what the book says about the death. No. So let's see. How am I doing this? Yes. So, no, I can do it this way. I'm going to do it this way. Let me go right to the book because we've already seen this. I've already seen this. And let me just pick out a couple of pointers. When death is reversed, one of the possible meanings is survivor guilt. Yeah, you're the last one standing or one of the few standing after some kind of a trauma or knockdown, and there's that guilt associated with that. Or it could be being so attached to what is already dead, the familiar and the comfortable, but the dead, that you are unable to move on to the next stage in life. You're unable to resurrect. You're unable to let go. Clinging to a devitalized past leaves one empty and exhausted, stripped of the motivation and identity from which to build a future. So those are two possible meanings. The third that the creator reminded me of as a possibility is a holding pattern. And knowing my situation right now, I think the holding pattern meaning is still accurate. Was accurate for the last 3 days. And I'll briefly get into that in just a moment. So if it is a holding pattern, then the significance of that holding pattern being the hanged person, the hanged man, although this is a very female presenting hanged man, makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Yeah, there's that sense of suspension in the hanged one, the hanged man. The hanged man, that's my favorite term for it. The hanged man. There's also the potential for new perspectives. There's also the potential for new understandings. And you'll notice that in this card, we see the runes at the bottom. Yeah, which runes are there? There's, it looks like, let's see, there's Raido, there's Wunjo, there's Ewaz, there's Dagas, there's Gebo, there's Perthro, I think that might be Hagalaz. Anyways, there are a whole bunch of, and there are a bunch of runes down there. And when we see runes down here from a suspended being, one of the things that comes to mind is the story of Odin. Yeah, Odin, who sacrifices himself on the tree and receives the runes as a gift, as a reward, as a response. The runes to unpack the future and unpack visions and unpack oracles and unpack language. So, also the gift of knowledge, of wisdom can be part of this. There's that enlightenment idea. You see the light behind the figure's head. Often the hanged man has this halo or glow behind their heads. So, in addition to the traitor, the accused one, the one to be punished, there are also these meanings. And though it's those meanings that cause me to draw me to this card as a significator. And so, perhaps in this pause, in this time of the chrysalis time for me, this is just a reminder that, yeah, this is you. You are here. And this is not the end. This is not a stagnation, but it's rife with possibility, if that makes sense. That there's so much possible here, even though you seem to be stuck in a holding pattern of some sort, like the hanged man. And interestingly, when I pulled this card again and I got over all my GDM, all those little swears in my head, the thing that really drew my attention is this gate. Do you see that gate? In the wall, in front of the skeletons, there's this wall, there's this door here. Let me show it to you upright. Maybe that'll help a little bit better. You see this gate? There's a path through. There's a path out. And it's that drew my attention today, this morning. And then, so I looked at that this hanged man, and I thought, yeah, that makes sense. And it's a good sense that maybe we're moving towards the potential, the possibility, the next blossoming. The information, the blessing is a closer potential for me. This Two of Cups in shadow, disconnect, disunion, I thought was possible. But I also thought, well, maybe romantic attachments and romantic ideas, or the desire for romance, might be an obstacle as well. Maybe, could be, I don't know. So I passed over this for the moment. And then I moved to this, and I thought, okay, aha, I know what to do. Beginner mind. I stay in beginner mind. Page of Swords for me is the inquisitive one. The one who asks questions, who looks for new information, who tries to find things out. Not like the Page of Pentacles, who's turning over rocks and investigating with the body, in that kind of inquisitiveness. This is the inquisitive one of speech, of thought, of ideas, of book learning. Yeah? And we see the birds flying here, communication, yeah, the air element. We see the light bulbs, the ideas that we have in modern associations with light bulbs. We see the book open in front of the page, walking a tightrope. This is not a page who knows it all or is secure in their knowledge, but there's this. I'm learning, and I'm feeling my way forward. So that's what I got. That's what I was thinking. And so I went through my day. And I came home, and I did not crack open the book because I already knew all of that. And so I'm reflecting now here with you on what happened today. What happened today was I went to the hospital, and my mom she's got this cycle that I've noticed, and I think I've mentioned it before. In the morning, she's feeling weak, but a little communicative in the morning. And then she goes down for a nap, and then she wakes up from her nap, and she has lunch. And then after lunch, she'll take a little nap, and then she'll wake up, and she'll be more active, more mobile, more talkative. And then she'll go back for another nap, and then she'll wake up and have dinner. And that's usually when I make tracks, because I want to get to where I'm staying now to get the meal that I've already paid for before the kitchen closes at 7 o'clock. And then I stay here. So that's my day. I spend the day at the hospital. And my mom woke up and felt weak, but she seemed a little bit better. I wasn't sure. Maybe I was projecting. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to project. I talked to her doctor, and suddenly her doctor said, well, we don't think we will be able to discharge her tomorrow. I was like, okay, so we were thinking of discharging her tomorrow? I didn't really know that, but I'm glad we're not discharging her tomorrow. I don't think she's fit to fly tomorrow. And so we had a little interaction. We went through my mom's normal cycle. She did not have a word of the day today. She did have a song bug in her ear. You know that one that goes, Istanbul is Constantinople, Istanbul is Constantinople. That one apparently was running around in her head this morning for a little bit, but it didn't go throughout the entire day. I was afraid it might. Then after her lunch nap, she woke up, she got up earlier, a little more quickly than usual. And I'd had this page of swords in the back of my head all day, of course. And so I thought, I haven't really fully activated that card for myself yet. So when she was sitting up and we were looking out, I started asking her questions, which was what the Page of Swords would do, right? Started asking her questions about her father, about if she had any good memories about her father, if she, then she'd mention somebody else in the family who I didn't know. And I asked questions about that person, and her recall of those things and those memories was pretty sharp. She was pretty articulate about all of that. which is not surprising. A lot of dementia patients, when they go into the past, when they have into their long-term memory, will pull out very detailed information. It's the short-term memory that breaks down, right? So I got a lot of new information from my mom about her past. Page of Swords. We talked about my past. We talked about people I knew, of course, but also some of the things that I didn't really know. And I didn't want to say I prodded or I nudged her, or I interviewed her, but I tried to keep the conversation going, and I tried to learn new stuff. I tried to Page of Swords my way through the conversation, at least the way that I think of the Page of Swords. And so that ended up being a fairly long, very good conversation. My mom didn't seem particularly exhausted after it or during it. And then she ate a lot more at dinner than she has eaten in a long time. She actually, instead of looking at the food and declaring the moment she saw it, that looks horrible, I won't eat that, she looked at it and said, that doesn't really look all that good, but let me try, which is new. I mean, isn't brand new, but is new for this sick period of illness. I mean, she's always been one who tried new things, who wouldn't complain about the food that was in front of her. She might not eat it all. She wouldn't force herself to eat it all, but she would try. But during her illness, I think she had very bad indigestion that she wasn't really aware of. Now, that's one thing about dementia, is that you're not fully aware of the sensations that you are having in your body. You don't recognize that this is different from what you normally feel sometimes. And so I think she had pretty bad indigestion, and maybe now it's easing, it's relieving itself. She's relieving herself. So that was my day. And I think that was the meaning of this for me today. Yes. Holding pattern. Yes. There is a door through. Not there yet. Yes, there is potential for me. And I think I finally did activate this with my mom. Then later on, I went out and I tried to find, today's my birthday, by the way. Yeah, happy birthday. And I didn't want to remind my mother that it was my birthday today in the hospital, because that would just make her more upset, I think, that we couldn't do anything about it. She wasn't feeling well. There are no presents. There's nothing. I mean, just nothing that can be done that she would have felt satisfied about celebrating. And I think she might have started feeling guilty about that. And I didn't want to get into any of that. So I didn't talk about it. And she didn't remember it. It's all okay. So after I got back home, I went for a walk. I walked by a couple of bars and I thought, no, it just looks too depressing. I'm not going to go in. So I'll just put that off to another time. I did wear, did you notice this? I got a couple of rune charms. Yeah, I got this one. I don't know if you can see it well enough. This is Wunjo. I got Wunjo. I got Gebo, and I got Perthro. Those are the three that I got. There are others that I wasn't interested in, and if I had found a Kanaz, I would have gotten it, but I did not find a Kanaz yet. Maybe I'll try looking tomorrow, maybe. But those are the ones I really would have wanted to get. Perthro is partially this, too. I don't know if that rings any bells for you. The Perthro rune has a little bit to do with this, with the story of Odin. Anywho, so that was my day. What do you think? Let me know. I said this was going to be short. It's not as short as I thought it would be. Sorry. I got talkative. So let me know. Hit the thumbs up button so that YouTube knows that you enjoyed this and that other people might enjoy it, and it draws attention to the channel and to the videos. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the alarm bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. I try to do one a day during this mini series. And also comment below. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think? What do you think of this series that I got of Death Reversed, World Reversed, and then again Death Reversed? What do you think of how it relates to the Hanged Man? Do you have other ideas of that relationship? So So yeah, let me know. And friends, if you're interested in a private reading, I've got my brand new email address down at the bottom just for readings. So shoot me an email and we can work that out. And friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.